Hey everybody, welcome back to On the Road to Dr. Effin. I'm Javeda Bay, soon to be Dr. Effin, and this is my web series where I take you along on my journey of being a black woman in academia, pursuing 2 PhDs because why the heck not? And it's still summertime. We're still in the thick of it all. And by that I mean the writing. Because we're in dissertation phase now. That's essentially what my life is about. It's about writing a dissertation. Have I touched on it a little bit? No, but we're not talking about that right now. I realized that a lot of people don't really know what a dissertation is. So why not demystify that? So today I'm just gonna break down what a dissertation is and like my writing process around it so that way you understand it a little bit more. Okay, so Jave, what is a dissertation? I'm very happy that you asked. A dissertation is essentially like the capstone project of your PhD. And for lack of a better description, it's a book. You essentially are writing a book because it does eventually like get printed in book format. Usually only one copy for you, but it's a book. Okay, it's a book. Give me more. Patience is a virtue. Yeah, so it's a book that is basically a written book of your giant research project that you do for your dissertation. So depending on your discipline and your program, it can look a lot of different ways. Some programs are actually expanding and being more like open to creative ideas. So I know folks who have done like a documentary for their dissertation rather than like a written portion. But at the end of the day, you have an actual fit, like something tangible in a sense. To present your research. And so traditionally the dissertation is a written book that includes like 5 chapters: your introduction, your lit review, your methods section, and then like your findings discussion section, and then your conclusion. So it functions a lot like a regular like research article. If you've never read that, that's generally what they all have. But it's just a lot lengthier. Does it need to be? Probably not, but that's just the tradition. So that's how it is. They're really long. Some have been shorter. I know somebody said like they read one once. It was like only 80 pages, and I'm like, how did you get away with that? I have no idea. But the length of it is gonna vary. But it's written in those chapters so that way it's structured to like give you all the information you need. And by all the information you need, I mean it shows that you've like done the work to see how you and your research fit into the existing literature, and that's what it is. And that's really why it's so lengthy. Because you have your introduction, which is like the starter chapter to like introduce what your research is about. And then your lit review is really where the fun starts. I don't like writing lit reviews. But it's basically the chapter that you are in conversation with all the other like existing literature to show how your research area is novel, but also how it relates to the existing research related to your topic. It's a wild time. But in that thing, you're connecting it to the existing research, like pointing out like where the gaps are, connecting to like the things that you're like, see, I'm similar in this vein, and like really painting the picture of like how your research is going to fit into all the holes in that slice of Swiss cheese that is your research area. And then from there, you move to your method section, which is essentially just like the chapter where you write up how you did your research. And the goal of method sections, supposedly, in dissertations and in just regular research articles, is to give the information so that somebody could go and replicate your research for themselves. So it's supposed to be detailed. In a dissertation, it's much more detailed than in a regular research article, but you're really explaining it. And also in a dissertation, you're still connecting it and like supporting like the decisions you made around your methods with existing literature. So like, hey, well, this study, like this person, blah blah blah, this article, chapter, whatever you're using, says that like this makes the most sense to use as a research method with this audience, like this population, and that's like why I did it, blah 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 blah. So things like that. And then your findings discussion chapter is where you present the data that you found from your research, and then also like your discussion is where you're taking just like the raw data of like, oh, these are the things I found, like, oh look, this person wore purple 6 days in a row. Cool, that's data. Discussion is where you take the data and you actually like interpret the meaning of it. And that's where the bulk of like the intellectual work happens, is in the discussion section, because you are then having to interpret your data and also explain it to your audience and give the important like why does this matter. Am I looking forward to writing my discussion findings section? No. But it is a part of it. It will get done. And then the conclusion just like nicely wraps it all up. Now, when it comes to dissertations, like they can look a lot of different ways and they're going to differ like per program, per discipline. A friend of mine is actually in like an English program, and so her dissertation looks very different. Her chapters like are not set up in the same way because she's not doing like data collection in the same way. She's reading novels and like doing stuff like that. So her chapters are actually like broken up around like the different novels that she's reading, and then like all tying them together and like the analysis of everything. But it looks different, but overall that's what it is. It's just a really long book that you write to show that like, one, you know how to like conduct research, two, you know how to connect your research to the existing research, and three, you know how to actually like interpret data. That's the goal of it. It's not a walk in the park. I know that like social media and movies and everything makes it seem like, oh my gosh, getting a dissertation, all you're doing is like reading and writing. Yes, and there's a big component that a lot of people miss. It is new knowledge production. That is the goal of getting a PhD and doing your dissertation. You are producing new knowledge. So at face value, it seems so easy. I'm reading, I'm writing. Yeah. And what you don't see is my brain working overtime all the time to figure out, what does this truly mean? Like, what does this mean in our society, in our present day context, in our future context? Like, what does it mean? That brain power, is exhausting. Like, I think that's what's burning, like, that's what burns calories for me. It's not doing anything active at all. It's using my noggin. But that's what a dissertation is. How's mine going, you ask? I will be turning in a draft of my lit review to my committee at the end of this month. Read between the lines. I'm turning something in at the end of this month. What is it? I don't know yet. There are words on the page. I've looked at it again. I know I need to go back and keep going. She's just overwhelming. She's intimidating. Also, I have a history with lit reviews. If you do not know, there's a video. You can go watch it. So like my apprehension and my like continuous pause is well justified. Okay. But yeah, that's what a dissertation is. If you've ever been curious, it is essentially the proof of the pudding of your new knowledge production that takes a while to write. Though some people, I've heard of people that have written their dissertation in 6 months and a year. Your girl has opted to take a full 2 years to do it because I already knew. So that's what we're doing. But yeah, that's that. If you have any questions about dissertations, please drop them in the comments, because I love talking about it and demystifying the ivory tower, because we need to. But definitely make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, because as I've said previously, I'm trying to monetize this channel to pay for my dissertation research, because your girl has to pay out of pocket because I study porn and the government don't really be like throwing money out in terms of research grants for that. So especially not the current political state, like it's not happening. So if you want to help me, subscribing to this YouTube channel does that. And if you're like, Javay, I'm already subscribed, I want to do something else to help you. Oh my God, you're so sweet. Well, if you are a Black woman that lives in the DMV, you can visit this URL and complete the eligibility survey for my dissertation research, and then you can be a participant, because I'm gonna need participants. And if you're like, I don't meet that criteria, no, that's a-okay. There are other things you can do. If you go to this URL, I have a dissertation book wish list, because yes, it is still a lot of reading and writing. That is a dissertation. And there are a lot of books that I kind of would like to have and need to write the dissertation that I want to write, which is an amazing one. My goal is to win dissertation award, because hello, I'm me. So you can also do that. And yeah, those are two things. If you're already subscribed and you're like, I want to help you in other ways, those would be really amazing. But yeah, that's that. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Definitely make sure you're following me on all the social media platforms, because I mean, why not? Look at this face. Why would you not want to see it every time you open your phone? And definitely make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter. And if you are specifically interested in the PhD experience, I have a separate email newsletter on Substack. For that, you could subscribe to both, either, whatever makes your heart happy. You can just go to themillennialsexpert.com to subscribe to my regular email newsletter, and this URL is my Substack newsletter. But yeah, that is that. Wish me luck, because we about to be at the end of the month, so your girl's about to lock in, and bust out that lit review. But until next time, I'm going to see you later. Deuces.